You're about to see garden fences like you've never imagined, not from expensive stores or fancy catalogs, but made from things most people would throw away. An old ladder, broken mirror, cracked wood? In the right hands, they become a shimmering herb wall or a sunlit mosaic that hums with life. This isn't just DIY, it's backyard alchemy. Welcome to Backyard Fortune, where we turn everyday trash into magical garden treasures. This video explores 10 recycled garden fence ideas that feel straight out of a European fairy tale. Timestamps are included. Feel free to skip around and comment if you have any questions. One, Bottle Blossom Garden Wall. In a quiet backyard, perhaps yours, or perhaps one waiting to be imagined, ordinary plastic bottles find a second life. No longer trash, they bloom into a living mosaic, a garden wall that hums with bees, glistens with morning dew, and welcomes the gaze like a stained glass window glowing under soft European skies. What you're looking at is not just a fence. It's a transformation. A memory of waste, reborn as a vertical orchard. The bottles, once lifeless, now cradle black soil and vibrant growth. From the dark cutouts, ripe strawberries dangle playfully, their skins sun-warmed and sweet. Beside them, mint leaves dance in the breeze, and nasturtium flowers spill out in warm bursts of orange and gold, edible, cheerful, and alive. Each bottle is different, some clear, some deep cobalt blue, others soft green or amber brown, arranged like patchwork in a countryside quilt. You don't need expensive tools to build this. Just scissors, wire, soil, and heart. The way you arrange them? That's up to you. Hang them on a wall. Stack them into layers. Dig them into the earth like little guards of your garden. Let the colors speak your story. In one corner of this blooming project, the plastic bottles are reversed and rooted into the ground, forming a charming little fence that separates soil from bloom. The roots of mint curl around the bottles, the leaves reach upward, and the strawberries seem to smile under their green hats. The colors, red, blue, green, shine without being artificial. No filters here. This is nature's palette on display. On another wall, they're mounted horizontally on brick, sleek, tidy rows of black bottles now reborn as garden beds. The bricks lend warmth and rustic texture, while from each bottle bursts forth life. Strawberry vines, sweet alyssum, baby violas, even a sprig of oregano here and there. It's vertical gardening at its simplest and most heartful. No need for ceramic pots or glass planters, just bottles, a bit of soil, and seeds of intention. What makes this project truly magical is that it doesn't pretend. It's not polished or pre-made. It's handmade. Real. It whispers, you can do this too. And you can. Start with just one bottle. Cut a window. Fill it with compost. Add a seedling. Watch it stretch to the sun. And if you're wondering, yes, this really works. These strawberries can be eaten. The mint can go into your tea. The nasturtiums? Sprinkle them on salad. This isn't a dream garden locked inside a fairy tale. It's a story you can grow right outside your door. So let's stop throwing beauty away. Let's turn our trash into something tender, edible, and full of life. Let's build fences that don't just divide, but bloom. Not with stone or metal, but with food and flowers and joy. You don't need to be a designer to build something magical. You just need to begin. Two, rustic crate garden fence. Sometimes, the most beautiful things grow not from perfection, but from what was once forgotten: wooden crates, worn by time, weathered at the corners, quietly waiting for a second life. And here, they found it. In this little patch of garden, these old fruit crates, once tossed aside after market day, stand tall again, stacked like steps in a secret courtyard. Within their frames, life begins anew. Broccoli bursts forth in emerald crowns. Tender mustard greens stretch up toward the light. Clusters of blueberries, dusted in morning bloom, ripen in their cozy wooden dens. Moss clings to the edges of the crates, adding soft texture, like nature's signature on a handmade work of art. You don't need a sprawling plot of land. You don't need brand new materials. You just need vision, and perhaps a few wooden boxes rescued from behind a grocery store or from the corner of your own garage. Nestle them together, fill them with healthy soil, and let your plants tell their own stories from crate to crate. And oh, how they speak. In the late afternoon, when the sun dips low and golden, shadows stretch gently through the cracks between the crates. The leaves glow softly, their veins illuminated like stained glass. A breeze might rustle through, carrying the scent of damp earth and fresh greens. You might hear the hum of a bee, or the chirp of a bird nesting somewhere nearby. This isn't just gardening. It's restoration. It's transformation. Each crate holds more than vegetables. It holds intention, patience, and a quiet kind of joy. Blueberries peek out from behind leaves like shy storytellers. Broccoli heads sit proudly, ready for harvest. Even the smallest crate, tucked near the ground, offers its bounty. Lettuce, crisp and vibrant, grows not just for taste, but to delight the eye and calm the soul. The beauty of this DIY idea is its accessibility. These crates can be stacked high for vertical gardening, lined in rows to create pathways, or even placed individually in corners of your patio. You can start small. One crate, one handful of seeds, one little green promise. And when the rain comes, you'll find that water trails along the grain of the wood, soaking into the soil below. It nourishes everything: plants, moss, dreams. The crates themselves seem to breathe, to hold history, to tell you, you don't need more. Just begin. This is the kind of garden fence that doesn't just mark a boundary, it becomes the heart of the garden. It feels like it belongs in the back garden of a rustic European cottage, tucked between rows of lavender and wildflowers, beside an old stone path. No plastic. No perfection. Just reclaimed beauty, blooming food, and quiet magic you can make with your own two hands. So next time you see a crate left behind, think again. With a little soil and sunlight, it might just grow into something that feeds you, in every sense of the word. Three, terracotta treasure edging. There's something poetic about broken things, how they wait patiently to be rediscovered, reimagined, and rooted into new life. And here, terracotta shards once destined for the dump now curve gracefully around garden beds like ancient ruins softened by time. Look closely. These fragments of clay are no longer forgotten. They've become guardians of a thriving herbal haven. In the warmth of the European sun, cherry tomatoes tumble from their vines like tiny red lanterns. Between them, basil grows in lush green clouds, its scent carried on the wind. Red chilies sparkle in the daylight, their color vivid against the earthen tones of the cracked pots. It's a kitchen garden, yes, but it feels like a secret. A place where broken pieces tell stories of resilience. You can build this too. Gather old clay pots, chipped, fractured, no longer perfect, and let them form the spine of your garden. Line them up along a bed. Set them gently in a curve, or a wave, or a circle. Let the irregular edges breathe. Their flaws become their charm. No two pieces the same, yet together they hold something beautiful in place. Between each shard, tuck a seedling. Tomatoes that will climb and lean. Basil that will perfume the breeze. Chilies that promise heat and color. The soil needn't be deep, just rich, loved, and well-watered. Nature will do the rest. And as the days pass, moss might creep in to nestle the gaps. Sunlight will cast shifting patterns of light and shade along the border. You'll see bees pause on basil flowers and birds dart between the leaves. The garden won't feel like a project. It will feel like a memory unfolding. What's powerful about this fence is not its cost. It's the honesty of its texture. The story behind each pot. The way the plants grow not despite the imperfections, but because of them. In one bed, the broken terracotta rises like teeth from the soil, bold and deliberate. In another, it bows softly around the curve of a tomato patch, cradling herbs in a warm embrace. Every angle reveals something new: maturity, character, function, beauty. There's no template for this. No rigid rule. Just your hands, your patience, and your willingness to turn what's broken into something alive. Because in the end, this isn't just about gardening. It's about hope. About crafting something useful and stunning from what others might discard. So if you've got a few shattered pots lying around, don't throw them away. Let them bloom. Let them border your harvest with dignity and charm. Let your garden remind you, even fragments can hold life, flavor, and story. Four, hanging jug garden arch. There are places in the world that feel like they belong in dreams, soft light dancing through leaves, air thick with the scent of ripe fruit and warm grass underfoot. But sometimes, those places aren't found in distant valleys or forgotten vineyards. Sometimes, they are made, by hand, by heart, and, unexpectedly, by recycled plastic. This garden archway may look like something out of a Tuscan fable, but it began with something far more ordinary: used water jugs. Here, those jugs have been transformed into an elegant rhythm of repetition and utility. Strung side by side along curved metal frames, they become not just structure, but support for something truly alive. Vines curl and wrap themselves tenderly around the arch. Pumpkins dangle like golden lanterns. Deep purple and pale green grapes cluster in abundance, heavy and glistening in the light. Each step beneath this arch feels like a passage into another world. Overhead, the recycled plastic bottles sparkle, clear and muted, matte and bright. They catch the light differently as the day moves on. In the morning, they glow with mist. At golden hour, they shimmer like glass kissed by sun. And the magic here is not just in the look, it's in the making. You don't need an architect's eye to build this. Just an arch frame, metal, bamboo, even old pipes will do, some strong twine or zip ties, and enough clean jugs to line the path. Cut an opening, fill with soil if you want, or simply use them to guide the vines. The plastic offers subtle support, holding structure where the plant wants to grow wild. This design invites edibles to be part of the architecture. Squash and pumpkin vines twist through the top. Grapes cluster in inviting little groups, ready to be picked by wandering hands. Bees linger. Shadows dance on the path below. And at night, you can hang little lights from the frame and watch the garden become a tunnel of stars. What once held water now holds stories. And there's something incredibly grounding in that, knowing that trash can become a trellis, that a jug can become the bones of beauty, that nature will accept whatever you give it, so long as you give it space to grow. This is not perfection. It's intention. It's creativity guided by respect, for what we discard, and for what the land can still offer in return. So walk beneath this arch not just with awe, but with the thought, I could make this, too. Because you can. The path is simple. The tools are humble. But the result? Absolutely enchanting. Five, woven wicker berry fence. They said it was trash, old rattan scraps, discarded vine trimmings, bits of what once shaped a forgotten basket. But in the hands of someone who sees not what it is, but what it could become, this waste has been reimagined into a storybook garden fence. This woven border doesn't just separate space, it tells a story. Every twist and turn in its texture speaks of care, of handwork done not for perfection, but for peace. Look closely and you'll see wild strawberries threading themselves through the gaps, their ruby-red skins catching sunlight like they were always meant to be there. This isn't just a fence, it's a trellis, a home, a growing companion. And beneath it, like a quiet secret, small watermelons begin to take shape, protected by the airy embrace of this rustic wall. The rattan is warm to the touch under the soft light of morning. It doesn't glare or boast, it glows gently, inviting bees and butterflies to linger longer. The brilliance of this idea lies not in complexity, but in simplicity. You don't need new wood or synthetic panels. Just some flexible branches, a bit of twine, and the patience to weave. Try starting with 3 vertical support poles, then gently interlace thin rattan or vines, over, under, over again, allowing room for your plants to grow through. You'll be surprised how quickly the garden claims it as its own. Leaves will curl around the edges, strawberries will lean out as if greeting guests, and even the air will feel different, like you've stepped into a quiet corner of an old European village where time slows down. There is something healing in creating with your hands. Something magical in realizing that beauty doesn't always come from what you buy, but from what you believe in. A once forgotten stick, now a frame for growth. A fence that doesn't shout, but sings softly with every breeze. So if you ever find old garden clippings or discarded canes lying around, don't throw them out just yet. They might just be waiting for their second life, as a gateway to your own little garden fairy tale. Six, mosaic mirror herb gate. The first time I saw a broken mirror fence gleam under the morning sun, I stood still, spellbound. It wasn't the perfection of the pieces that caught my eye, but the way imperfection was turned into poetry. Hundreds of shattered fragments, once destined for the landfill, now danced like dewlit stars woven into a gate. This is the heart of the mosaic mirror herb gate. A humble idea born from discarded mirrors and a love for herb gardens. At first glance, it might look like something crafted by a skilled artisan in a quiet European village, hidden behind ivy-covered stone walls. But here's the secret: anyone can create it, with patience, a bit of safety gear, and a vision. Each fragment is glued thoughtfully onto a metal or wooden gate, forming an abstract mosaic that catches and reflects the changing light of day. No two reflections are ever the same. In the soft hours of morning, the shards glow gently, sending flickers of warmth into nearby greenery. At dusk, they echo the colors of the sky: pink, lavender, golden rust. But what makes this gate more than just a spectacle is what grows beside it. Flanking the mirrored panels are planters filled with rosemary, thyme, mint, oregano, herbs not just for cooking, but for scent, memory, and calm. As you pass through the gate, your hands might brush against the leaves, releasing aromas that ground you in the moment. A quiet therapy, no words needed. You don't need to be a builder. You just need broken mirror pieces, yes, the kind you'd never think to keep, a strong backing like wood or iron, some good adhesive, and creativity. And don't forget to wear gloves, because this is magic, but also sharp. Even the surrounding posts and pillars can be dressed in shards. Add a pot or two. Recycle old terracotta, wood barrels, or wire baskets. Suddenly, your trash becomes treasure. A walkway becomes an experience. And your garden? It begins to whisper fairy tales of its own. If you're working with a small space, this kind of feature draws the eye and transforms your garden's entrance into a portal. A reminder that beauty isn't about having more, it's about seeing deeper. And maybe, just maybe, next time you break a mirror, you'll smile, not because of superstition, but because you've just been handed the first piece of your very own garden fairy tale. Seven. Tire bloom vegetable fence. They called it trash. Old rubber, forgotten in the corners of garages and junkyards, hardened by sun and time. But in the hands of a dreamer, it bloomed. Look closer. What once rolled across highways is now reborn in soft pastel colors: robin's egg blue, gentle mint, and warm coral pink. The tires stand upright in rows or are stacked like layered cakes, forming whimsical garden fences and circular vegetable beds. They don't shout for attention, they sing softly like an early morning in the European countryside. In the middle of each ring, life has taken root. Cabbage heads, plump and proud, unfurl their ruffled leaves like royalty. Melon vines stretch out lazily over the tire edges, glossy leaves catching sunlight as if they knew they were part of something special. And in one corner, a baby banana tree reaches for the sky, its leaves dancing gently in the breeze. These aren't just plants, they're a celebration of second chances. Each garden is not only functional, but filled with soul. The fence doesn't just protect, it tells a story. A story of resourcefulness, of joy, of someone who looked at a pile of tires and saw the shape of a dream. Want to recreate this in your own backyard? Start small. Collect a few old tires, from mechanics, junkyards, or friends. Scrub them clean, and choose a paint palette that makes your heart flutter. Pastel shades work beautifully because they reflect the sunlight and invite peace. Don't worry if your painting isn't perfect, the charm lies in the imperfection. Cut the tires if you'd like to plant directly into the ground, or stack them for height. Fill with rich soil and plant vegetables that love warmth and structure: cabbage, melons, even herbs or flowering vines. Water regularly. Watch them grow. And over time, something magical happens. Children who visit will think it's a playground. Neighbors will pause and stare. Bees will dance from leaf to leaf. And you? You'll feel like a quiet alchemist, turning something discarded into something deeply nourishing. This is not just gardening. It's healing. It's a reminder that beauty is often hiding in what the world leaves behind, and all it needs is someone willing to look closer and love it back to life. Eight. Bamboo basket orchard frame. There's a quiet kind of magic that happens when the ordinary is reimagined, when the forgotten finds new breath, and the discarded becomes the roots of something truly alive. Wander into this sun-kissed orchard, and you won't hear the noise of machines or the hum of industrial polish. Instead, the gentle creak of old bamboo in the breeze, the subtle fragrance of pears ripening, the rustle of leaves in woven baskets that now cradle life. What once may have been scrap, a pile of aging bamboo poles, a set of worn wicker baskets too ragged for the market, has become the framework of something eternal, a living fence that bears fruit, nourishes souls, and teaches us to see beauty in what others might overlook. Each bamboo post stands tall but humble, aged by time, tied together with jute rope and love. From these poles, baskets sway gently, suspended like old village lanterns in a midsummer dusk. Yet, instead of light, they carry young apple saplings and pear branches, their roots tucked softly into rich soil inside the baskets, reaching down and outward, finding their way into the world. And from these handmade vessels, life spills over. Look closely, and you'll find it, not only in the blushing skin of ripening apples or the golden hue of hanging pears, but in the way sunlight filters through the canopy of leaves above, dappling the earth below in honeyed warmth. In how each branch is trained with care to climb and curve along the bamboo's embrace, forming living walls that hum with possibility. This is not a garden built in haste. This is a whisper of tradition, of hands that remember how to listen to wood, how to weave with purpose, how to grow with patience. If you've ever stood in your backyard with a pile of unused materials, old poles, baskets from thrift stores, leftover rope, and wondered if they could be anything more, the answer is yes. This frame teaches us that orchards don't always need wide open fields or expensive trellises. They just need intention. A bit of soil, a dash of sunlight, and the willingness to try. What you create with these ideas may not look exactly like this. Maybe your baskets are clay pots, maybe your bamboo is driftwood or salvaged branches. Maybe your trees are fig, lemon, or even flowering herbs. That's the wonder of this design. It is not a rulebook but a door, and it opens to a world where your garden becomes a fairy tale crafted by your own two hands. So next time you think of tossing that broken basket or overlooking a fallen branch, pause. Listen. Perhaps it's waiting to become part of something beautiful. Let your orchard begin. Nine, clay brick planter border. There's a quiet kind of magic that happens when old things are given a second life, especially when they end up growing new ones. In a forgotten corner of someone's backyard, where the sun rises gently and dew still clings to the leaves, something beautiful has emerged. A fence, if you can call it that, made from nothing more than discarded clay bricks. Some cracked, some covered in moss, all of them saved from the landfill, and now pressed together to form a low, embracing wall around a bed of soil that's alive with purpose. Inside this reclaimed sanctuary, deep purple eggplants dangle like polished gems, nestled between tufts of crisp green lettuce that curl like floral lace. The soil, dark and earthy, is flecked with bits of compost and whispers of life, worms, roots, and the occasional fallen leaf. It's humble. It's edible. It's sacred. There's no high fence here. No towering structure. Just a few rows of reused bricks stacked with care. Bricks that once held walls and now hold life. And perhaps that's the quiet genius of it. Nothing flashy, just function and form in perfect harmony. Want to recreate this? Start small. Gather old clay bricks from a demolition site or ask your neighbors if they have extras lying around. Choose ones with character, the chipped ones, the weathered ones, the kind that look like they've seen stories. Lay them out in a square or a circle, 2 or 3 bricks high, and press the soil in between. That's it. You've built your garden a home. Plant vegetables that love companionship. Lettuce and eggplant are surprisingly compatible. One stays low and leafy, the other climbs tall and statuesque. They offer each other shade, space, and contrast. Water deeply in the mornings. Mulch the surface with straw or leaf litter if you can. Over time, moss may grow along the bricks, softening their edges and giving your raised bed the look of an ancient European potager kissed by the seasons. This isn't just gardening. It's storytelling in soil and stone. And when someone walks past and says, "Wait, this used to be trash," you'll smile, brush the dirt from your palms, and invite them to harvest a leaf. Because some beauty isn't bought. It's built. And it starts with what most people throw away. (10) Suitcase strawberry step wall. At the edge of a sun-dappled patio, tucked against a quiet garden wall, a stack of old suitcases sits, silent relics from another time. Once carriers of memories and distant dreams, these forgotten travel companions have found a new story to tell. Their leather is worn, their corners scuffed, their buckles tinged with rust. But inside, life stirs again. Where once clothes and maps might have been packed, now grow strawberries. Bright, ripe, sweet strawberries that drape gently over the sides of each case like ruby-red jewels. From the soil spring also tropical surprises, soft-skinned lychees and golden longans, their roots finding peace in the dark, rich earth inside each weathered suitcase. There is something magical in the contrast, the old and forgotten becoming the cradle of something young and alive. Layer upon layer, the suitcases rise like stair-steps, a cascading fruit wall, a vertical garden as functional as it is whimsical. And it doesn't take a grand estate or a master gardener to recreate this. Just a few old suitcases, a bit of imagination, and a willingness to let nature spill into the cracks of yesterday's belongings. Each suitcase becomes a little world of its own. A mini raised bed with a built-in frame, perfect for shallow-rooted fruits and trailing herbs. Add a drainage hole, fill with compost-rich soil, and let the magic begin. The layered format doesn't just look enchanting, it's practical. It saves space. It creates dimension. It lets you garden upward in the smallest of corners. The scent of strawberries hangs in the air like a whisper of spring. Bees dart in and out between blossoms, as if they too are drawn to the charm of this edible staircase. In a quiet corner of a European-inspired garden, this suitcase strawberry step wall feels like a love letter to sustainability. It's not just about reusing what we once threw away. It's about reimagining it, seeing beauty in the broken, creating purpose in the forgotten. So next time you pass an old suitcase in a thrift shop or find one collecting dust in the attic, don't toss it. Plant it. Because somewhere in those old latches and linings, the seeds of something beautiful are waiting. If this video sparked even a single idea for your backyard, then we've done our job. Let us know which fence design was your favorite in the comments, or better yet, tell us which trash item you'll never throw away again. Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who dreams of building something magical from nothing. Because in the right hands, every forgotten thing has the power to bloom. Thanks for watching Backyard Fortune, where gardens grow from the unexpected.